is going on, everybody? Today might be the start of one of the wildest times for Terra Luna Classic. Now, on the surface, you might not think this is much, but if you remember anything about what happened back at the fall of Terra Luna Classic, there's one player that's kind of stood out in this entire scenario, and it looks like we're about to kick that hornet's nest. So stick with me. This is very, very interesting, and it could change things dramatically for Terra Luna Classic. Make sure you hit that like button because everybody needs to know. Before we unpack it, if you like the channel, make sure you subscribe. But go check out terracasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. You know the drill. And if you get your @ and your username available in my live streams, you could win up to $50. If you're trading meme coins or utility coins on the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem, Terraport.finance is your place to go. And if for any reason you don't want to use Terraport.finance, go check out weaselworld.io. They have their own swap as well, and they have a mining system in which you can use one of your old phones or your current phone and just leave it plugged in and let it mine and secure the network for you. And you could earn yourself some WESO for doing it. Okay, guys, there is a vote proposal that's up right now with a lot of voting going on early on. You've got 15% yes, 21% no with veto, and 62% abstaining. And this is a very, very interesting. Let me break it down for you. This is what happened right here. Happy Caddy Crypto has decided to have a public inquiry into Binance's custody of Terraform Labs' remaining LUNC and USTC holdings, formerly UST and Luna. And the request for immediate inquiry, disclosure, and destruction regarding Terraform Labs' owned LUNC and USTC assets held on Binance. In 2022, Terraform Labs' collapse led to global financial loss. We know what happened. Summary of finding. Here is the analysis. Identified all TFL-controlled wallets is listed in Exhibit P301, and it has a list of each and every one of them. Total amount of each one that were transferred to Binance all time. Then here's the definition, disposition of Terraform crypto assets, final judgment, demonstrated compliance with the final judgment. And this is for the bankruptcy and any lawsuits that have taken place against them. So asset implication. Now, if you'll note here, the conclusion is that while Terraform Labs' on-chain assets have been proven destroyed in compliance with the final judgment, its central exchange wallets remain active, undisclosed, and under Binance's control. This lack of transparency creates ongoing uncertainty and risk in the Terra Classic community. Now, ultimately, what is Happy Caddy Crypto saying? He's saying that Binance is not actively covering up those wallets, but that that Terraform Labs moved quite a bit of LUNC and USTC onto the Binance blockchain, and that those should be burned and destroyed because they have not yet. The DeFi wallets are the ones that have been completely burned and taken out of circulating supply. So that begs the question and will lead to a situation in which, now that we're having a public inquiry into Binance, how does Binance react to being questioned, and do they support this and say, you know what, you're right, let's get this done and make sure that there's no way for them to obscure those facts? Or, and by the way, there is a possibility that this is already being worked on by the court systems. Surely people are looking at centralized exchanges saying, well, we need to see the assets on that one as well, because those also need to be burned. And it could be redundant, could be, but we don't know for sure. So having this inquiry into what's going on over at Binance. And by the way, I think we should look before voting, before you decide how you're going to vote and how you're going to weigh in. It should be, these are the total amounts transferred all time. Now, this says USTC, and it gives 3 billion. And then this one gives only 2.4 million LU. So there's not a lot that we're talking about. If any that we are talking about is going to be that USTC. We'll see how that would affect the supply in the event something would happen. But again, I would encourage you to read through this, decide for yourself what your vote's going to be, and then align with the people who are voting the way that you would like the outcome to be. I mean, it's pretty simple. Now, as far as that goes, validators have not moved very much. As illustrated right here, you're not seeing a whole lot of change. You're seeing a lot of positive inward move. But the question to that is, Well, what do we have as total staked? And what we have as total staked right now is about 900 and just short of 907 billion at this point. It's a little bit lower than it was a few days ago, but as we zoom out, go to the 6-month window over here, you can see at one point we're over $1 trillion. So we're not holding up poorly, but that's still down about 3% over the course of the last 6 months. Now let's talk price action based on the total market cap right now and where I think Lunk is headed. So total market cap right now up $30 billion on the day, but yesterday when we had our conversation, we were up really significantly on the day. The U.S. market came in and absolutely bled liquidity out of the system, meaning we ended up with a negative day yesterday, another negative day yesterday. In fact, which two negative days in a row. Now we're up again today, but we'll see whether or not it maintains. As you can see right here, we had a massive dump coming off of that resistance at the 200 MA. This is the overall crypto market cap. And by the way, it's early, but a death cross is forming right here. Now, when we look at it on the daily, we don't get as nervous about it as all of that because we did have this over here. Now, it did lead to a massive sell-off, right? But ultimately, it was bullish long-term. We got a nice little flip very quick. So we could be seeing that as a catalyst happening right there, a couple weeks leading into some dumps, and then boom, this absolutely takes off. Or we could just avoid it entirely with a nice move to the upside. Timing is everything. The chart will look like what the chart looks like. But this is giving us an indication that bearish momentum is still being maintained since mid-October, around mid-October. So we're looking to see a break back above. If we don't get the break back above, we get the break down a little bit, and we'll see what happens there going forward. But Terra Luna Classic, as I said before, I'm really looking for this to hold up, and it's just ranging sideways. And what I told you, like for me, the worst part would be that if it starts ranging sideways. What I was hoping for is I was hoping that we would get a spike, a bounce right off of this, or we would get a clear break below this. Now, this is a neutral pattern formation because most likely we're just going to range sideways here. That also speaks to we don't have any positive momentum. And let me zoom out here a little bit. Binance could be annoyed by the fact that we are asking these questions, and they may not be as reciprocal as we would think. And and by the way, I don't say that because I think Binance is petty. I don't think that at all. But I do think that this market is very petty, and that we could see somebody somewhere just get absolutely annoyed. Remember, the lifeblood of Terra Luna Classic right now kind of is Binance, and we rely on those burns every month for everything. So as I'm moving this out right now, I just want to point out we're breaking down from what I originally thought. Just to give you guys the clarity here, what I originally thought was we were kind of running in this trend right here, and it just continues to bow outwards. So looking for upward move, don't know what's going to happen. But again, Binance, there could be a problem here with Binance not wanting to reciprocate or be nice about it. They might get upset. Somebody in there might get upset. Richard Tang, somebody on the team, and just say, you know what? Just unlist it, and we don't have to deal with this anymore. I mean, that's a risk that you take every time you speak, quote unquote, truth to power. So, I'm going to be fascinated to see how it plays out. Fingers crossed that it's going to play out positively. And, to be honest with you, that we say yes, because I would really like to get to the bottom of it. And I don't think this is a bad proposal from Happy Caddy Crypto. I'm certainly glad that he's out of the hospital that didn't have internet. It's really good to see him back. So we'll see how this plays out. In the meantime, trade volume is up 24% on the day. You can see that right up there. So we're having a pretty good day in terms of volume, but it's not leading to price appreciation. We're not really seeing a huge move in one direction on the price. For disclosure, we are up just a tiny bit, I think, on the day. No, I'm sorry, we're down 4% on the 24-hour. This runs at a 24-hour, doesn't cut off at the same time, 7 p.m. Or 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It doesn't cut off at the same time as the total market, so it's a little bit different. So today we're kind of on a positive trend a little bit, but in the overall 24-hour, we're down still just a little bit from that dump. Also, again, I gave you guys, I completely lost confidence in USTC at the moment, and this is speaking to the market right now about how that's playing out with this, and by the way, we were at one point, I'm looking right here, just kind of going through here, and you can see that it's just been a constant downward long-term momentum crusher for USTC. There's nothing that USTC does. It's very difficult if you're holding on to it. We're going to hope for big spikes every once in a while as proposals come along. When USTC starts to lock up for USTR being converted to UST1 from Leonardo's plan, maybe we'll see some kind of pump there. Maybe we'll see something right there. But ultimately, long term, I just do not feel it. I just do not feel it. I'm sorry. I keep saying this, but I just, if there's an opportunity for a flip, maybe. But otherwise, the last time we had an opportunity for a flip, remember, we were sitting at about 1.2 cents, and we just scalped 60% of that, or 40% of that right off. So for anybody who was taking that risk at 1.2 cents, they're down 40%. Anybody buying at a higher price is down even more. So USTC not looking good right now. Burns are at 752 million right now over the last 7 days. Yesterday got, when you look at it overall, it's kind of a sort of day. 85 million got burned. It's not a lot. So it's kind of normalized at this point. We had a nice little run there for 10 days into the year, and then just kind of died down. So we'll see what happens here on the day. 27 million. Maybe we'll see some kind of burn. Maybe we won't. It doesn't look like it. But we've also had a little bit of burn in USTC as well. But again, this is not the primary motivator at this point. I want to say this. There is burning Terra Luna Classic. Burning USTC at this point right now has no bearing on anything positive for the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem. It is important and it is imperative at some point for us to reduce the supply because it did get absolutely crazy. And there will be a time when that comes. We've not seen it the way that we would like to see it. There's been plenty of different discussion. It's been shot down or it's been supported, whatever, by these validators. Now, what I'm basically, I guess what I'm fumbling around to say right now is it is time for us to get rid of that 1.5% burn tax, in my opinion. Again, for most of us, we're not going to see a proposal that's going to talk about that or going to look to implement or do that until we see the market module, because I think people are going to be nervous about not reducing the supply. But I think at this point, not reducing the supply, reducing the supply is an imperative that a lot of people have had because they want more value for the Luna Classic that they have right now. But maybe it's time to stop that and start to just build and to rebuild this chain in a way that's favorable to investors and developers. And currently a 1.5% tax means that it's not. So there are any other chain out here that doesn't have a tax on it that, per transaction, that make it easy to build on. Why not just build there? So we have a problem that we're going to have to address very, very soon. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.